What did Mr. T teach us? Yesterday I said in a video, there's one man who didn't war for 4 years. What was he showing you? How many of America's soldiers' lives did he save, never mind the lives of people in other countries? Let's all be more like him. Never mind wanting him back in power, let's all follow his example. And you know me, many subjects cross my busy mind during a day, or some subjects keep on flowing until completion. This is one of those. I'm not done yet. Everyone wants him back in office. We do. But until he comes back, if he does and they're saying he will do, it's up to us to hold those values that he represented in our hearts and to enact them. What did he teach us? I'm talking about soft values rather than the hard values of what he did and what he instructed the army to do. He taught us that good leadership is more important than money. He taught us that compassion for others in this world is more important than money. He taught us that when you treat people right, they will treat you right. I'll bet there aren't many Americans that wouldn't open their homes to him and his family for a meal or a night's sleep right now. Not that he's in need, of course, but because they would welcome him into their homes in a heartbeat and extend whatever hospitality they could to him. He gave preference to those who spoke the truth and shunned reporters at press conferences that didn't. Between him and Kayleigh McEnany, what a kick-ass, direct, assertive couple. They were a delight to listen to, watching them favor the truthers and shun the DS liars. He taught us that direct speech rules over manipulation, lying and controlling. He took public ridicule for years and never stopped. The strength of this man in facing the pushback that he did, was incalculable. What he showed us there is that there are things worth fighting for, worth working towards, that don't involve the ego. There are bigger objectives. He was quoted as having made a disparaging remark towards women years ago, but he's only quoted as saying it once. That in my opinion was a mistake, a temporary lack of judgment that he never repeated. We all make them. That one thing we said that we regret ever having said but we don't repeat it because we learned the lesson and we allowed it to make us better. Instead of fighting for what was truly his, he stood down and allowed the other side to show you just what they had in mind for you. He realized he could have insisted on not giving up office, but he realized that there was a bigger picture and this bigger picture involved him moving out of the way. Your soul does this often to show you your big picture. He stepped aside so that you could fight for your rights. What America and the world learned again, was to respect their politics, that it was even possible anymore. He did all of this with as much courage, dignity, and grace that he could muster. He showed you this is about changing the system, not about his personal gains. He did what he did fearlessly and with caring for all. He taught us to love our fellow man. You don't have to miss him, guys, he's still in your heart if you hold him there. We had a Gandhi, we had a Mandela, we had a Diana, now we have had Mr. T. We have to see the message these leaders brought to us and embrace it in our everyday lives. That's why they're there, to show us. I mean, let's face it, we've had some pretty lousy leaders. Lie to our faces and steal our money behind our backs. But there are diamonds in this coal mine and we just had one. The main thing he did was he clued the world's people in. He didn't just give you polished White House reports, he didn't have his news people talk to you, he did it himself. He used social media, the way people tend to communicate now, to talk directly to us. To let us know. He counted us in. For that reason now, we can't let him down. He was talking in code and he knew you knew what he meant. He didn't condescend to the people, he knew they would figure it out. Ivo, my love, the reason he stood down when the elections went sour was because he put it in the hands of his people to set it straight. That is why. He knew they had the fake voting machines, he knew he would appear to lose. Yet he allowed it so that the people would begin to assert their right to what was truly theirs, him and the way of life he represented to them. Me, yes. It's up to us. Ivo, what he represents to the people is a way of life that puts people first, not last as they are now. This is the beginning of the age of Aquarius and nothing else will gain momentum in this new age. Those who put people last before their businesses have already tried to disguise the fact that they do. When you walk through a WM store as you did this evening, you see they wonder how was your shopping experience when there were aggressive men out in the parking lot, aisles with no food, either it needed to be restocked or they were out of it, and the store decor leaves a lot to be desired as well. You commented to your neighbor that you'd have to be your age to understand the degradation society has gone through in the last 60 years. It is true, you could have had so much more but for the pathological values your corrupt leaders enact. Humanitarianism is on the way back. It must make a resurgence if your people are to survive. Me, there is so much to learn from who he is, and what he represents to the people of the world. For 4 years, countries that had been devastated from war found peace through him. Now look. He showed us and we cannot let it slip through our hands. It's our own fault, we were sitting on our laurels never thinking it would get this bad, but we were warned. There were movies, books, articles, videos out with the truth of what's happening, but we just sat and hoped things would get better without our doing anything about it. Well, they won't. It's up to us to start to make more conscientious choices and start to live more consciously. Ivo, and you are doing your part today as you are going to take your neighbors out for groceries, again. They have no food for another week and no money to buy it, so you will buy it for them. Me, it might cost me a few hundred, but I want to live more conscientiously. I want to help. I just sit and wait for them to have a catastrophe so I can help them. I offer advice, but it may or may not get taken, I don't know. But I'm always there to help them because this is the new world. They can't believe me. I think they think I'm from Mars. Ivo, no, my love, you are from the future. Me, you too, Ivo. I love you.